How to run without getting out of breath. You ever feel out of breath or struggle to keep up your pace during a run? Trust me, you're not alone. And it might all come down to how you're breathing. Many adult beginner runners don't realize that their breathing technique might be working against them, right? You might be out for a run, huffing and puffing. You might be doing something that's you're not even aware that you're doing. You think you're just going to pick up breathing naturally with running. And today I'm going to show you how to fix your breathing to run stronger, longer, and more efficiently. So, why breathing matters for runners. It might seem like it's common sense, but running is an aerobic activity, right? Aerobic means it needs air, oxygen, like taking, especially doing distance running. And breathing doesn't just happen automatically, right technique breathing, right? You may be breathing with a pattern that's inefficient that you're not even aware of. Yes, breathing is an automatic process, right? Something you've been doing since you were born. You took your first breath of air and you've been breathing ever since you were born. The thing is, as adults, your breathing patterns may have changed and you're not even aware that this stuff is happening. And then when you go for a run, you're just breathing with a dysfunctional or inefficient breathing pattern, thinking that, oh, it's just going to correct itself. When the thing is, it's like a movement pattern, kind of like any a pattern or movement. It could be changed, but it also if you reinforce a bad habit, you keep practicing a bad habit, it's not going to change itself. You're just going to reinforce the bad technique that you may already have. So what's this bad technique that I'm talking about? A lot of runners are mouth breathers, right? They breathe in through their mouth. Right. So when you're breathing through your mouth in and out, now it has its time and place, right? So if you're doing, some heavy interval work, speed works, going like high intensity, you're just going to have to breathe. You're going to be breathing out through your mouth just to clear out that carbon dioxide buildup. You're taking in the oxygen, the volume of oxygen to carbon dioxide. That does happen with high intensity sprint work. But if you're doing like an easy to moderate paced run, you should actually be breathing in and out through your nose breathing. And you're like, wait, what? That's way too hard. I could barely do a run breathing through my nose. Don't just wait. We'll talk about how you can start working on developing this more efficient breathing pattern. See, but we also have to talk about why mouth breathing is such a big issue. So what happens with mouth breathing? It leads to dehydration because the mouth isn't designed to like filter out the air the way the nose is, right? The nose has these little hair follicles, natural mucus and stuff to actually filter out the air, capture debris, while the mouth doesn't have that same filtering mechanism. So it's going to lead to like dry mouth or sore throat, and you may even actually get dehydrated quicker than as opposed to just breathing in and out through your nose. And further, it's not as efficient, so you actually fatigue easier, right? So as you're breathing in and out through your mouth, you're going to fatigue easier. That's why you're going to feel out of breath while you're even with an easy pace. Because if you're breathing in and out through your mouth, an easy pace is going to feel like a hard run just because you're just fatiguing a lot quicker because you're mouth breathing. And then that causes you're using these accessory muscles of respiration. You're using your upper traps, your scalenes, these muscles pulling up on your shoulders. So now you're breathing in through and out through your mouth is causing an elevated stress response, also causing more tension in your body. That can lead to even issues like a neck pain or even shoulder pain, which is, I know you're like, whoa, what? Runners could get neck or shoulder pain just because they're having this inefficient breathing pattern? Yes. And again, that will lead you to fatigue easier. You're going to feel a lot of breath. You're going to feel winded. And, when I was training for as a beginner, like first learning to run and stuff as an adult beginner, excuse me, I would catch myself like huffing and puffing. I'm like, why am I so out of breath? And I'm like, wow, I'm really just breathing out through my mouth in and out. And someone who also struggles with asthma, it was making me like having to go to get an inhaler. Sometimes I would be getting like an asthma attack just because now I'm reinforcing, like hyperventilating, and I'm not able to clear that carbon dioxide, huffing and puffing through the mouth. It's all sorts of trouble. But when you learn how to breathe properly, you actually help just make the runs feel easier, and you don't feel it out of breath while you're running when you correct your breathing pattern when it's more through the mouth. Excuse me, through the nose. So you're more nasal breathing or nose breathing versus mouth breathing. And the proper way when you're doing nose breathing, you have to have your mouth closed, of course, but your tongue position matters too. So your tongue should be near the tip of your teeth, right? With your teeth closed, tip to tip. And then the tongue is right at the roof of the mouth. Again, the tongue's at the roof of the mouth, with the like first third to 2/3 of the tongue. Again, the tip of the tongue right behind the front row of the teeth, and the like next third or so of the tongue up also against the roof of your mouth. Again, kind of pressed upwards, and then as you breathe in and out through your nose, uh, you'll develop this proper breathing pattern, and which will actually decrease your stress and make you more efficient. So you're not feeling all winded and out of breath like you're running away from a lion or something, or a cheetah's trying to chase you down. Okay, so why mouth breathing tends to happen? Again, I kind of mentioned this earlier, that it's when you're really exerting yourself beyond your body's capacity, like you're running too hard for your current ability level. That could be a reason. It could just be habitual patterns, which is the most common thing, is that you just been a habitual mouth breather. You're not even aware that you're breathing in and out through your mouth, even when you're walking. You're just going for a walk and you're breathing in and out through your mouth. Or even you're just working at your computer, you're breathing in and out through your mouth. You just developed a habitual dysfunctional breathing pattern. Um, Also, being overweight as well, being overweight or obese, you tend to notice people who are overweight or obese, they just have more stress on their body, and they also tend to breathe in and out through the mouth. You tend to also be a mouth breather because now they have more stress on their body. So also being overweight or obese can lead to being a mouth breather as well. So that's another reason why mouth breathing happens. And then people who struggle with like respiratory conditions like asthma or seasonal allergies or allergy in general, or congestion, sinus congestion or nasal congestion, their nostrils are blocked up, those cavities are blocked up. That tends to cause mouth breathing as well. And then just having weak respiratory muscles. So just having weak diaphragm muscles, weak intercostal muscles, the little muscles along the ribs, that also contributes to, if those muscles are weak, then you're going to have to rely on like your mouth and the little muscles around your neck to help you breathe if you have a weak diaphragm and core muscles. So that's another reason why mouth breathing happens. So how do you fix your breathing so you become more of a nasal or nose breathing? Right? One, you just practice nose breathing while in a comfortable, like resting position. Right? You start first with just sitting, just sit, slowly breathe in and out through your nose. Again, with that tongue in the resting position at the top of the roof of the mouth, teeth closed. You can set a timer, 3 to 5 minutes, slow nasal breathing in and out. Then you could practice going for a walk for a few minutes, slow nasal breathing. And then you can even practice with it going on a jog or an easy run with nasal breathing. Again, trying to be intentional of just breathing out through your nose. Now, if you're having a hard time doing that, you could actually get some tape and put some gentle tape that's gentle on the skin, like 3M microporous tape. Put that tape along your mouth, tape your mouth, so then you could just focus on breathing in and out through your nose. Another pro tip is actually you could sleep with tape on your mouth so that you're purely just breathing in and out through your nose while you're sleeping. So you get additional practice of nose breathing. You also want to test your baseline of your breathing capacity's ability to tolerate carbon dioxide buildup in the blood with this test called the control pause test, so the control pause breathing test. So to do the control pause breathing test, you sit comfortably, you would breathe normally, you would exhale through your nose, exhale gently through the nose, making sure to empty your lungs, but not force it out. And then you're gonna hold your breath and pinch your nostrils, right? You're gonna pinch your nostrils, and then you're gonna hold your breath while pinching your nostrils. You're gonna count how many seconds, maybe set a stopwatch up, before you feel that first urge to breathe again. That first, it could be the gentlest urge to breathe again, which might feel like a gentle push on your diaphragm or your throat. You release the nostrils, and you're gonna make time, like, hey, at what time did that happen? And then you'll record that. So if you have a time of at least 40 seconds, that's actually a good sign that you have healthy, efficient breathing and you have a good tolerance to carbon dioxide. But if your control, that breath pause while you're doing the test is 20 seconds or less, it may indicate suboptimal breathing patterns, suggesting that you're going to have to further work on your body's ability to tolerate carbon dioxide and improve your breathing patterns and the muscles of breathing. So it'd be like your diaphragm, core, and these small little muscles along your ribs. So some other breathing drills you could do. Also, when you're running, the act of running itself, you could do rhythmical breathing. So, for example, every 2 steps in, you would like take a in-breath, inhale, and again, try to do nasal breathing if possible. I know it's hard. And then every 2 steps out, you would then breathe out. 2, then 1, 2 out, right? Or you could do 3 steps in, 3 steps out. There's different breathing rhythms or drills, or like 2 steps in, 3 steps out. So 1, 2 in, and then 1, 2, 3 out. And if that's hard to you, you can do nose and mouth, but ideally you want to train yourself to just do purely, in breath, 1, 2 in, 1, 2 out through the nose, or 1, 2 in, 1, 2, 3 out through the nose. But if you need to, you could do nose with the inhale and then mouth with the exhale. Especially with the faster speeds, right? So if you're going faster, there's going to be some nose and mouth breathing just if you're going really fast. But as you get fitter and more adept with nasal breathing, you can maintain nasal breathing both for the in breath and out breath, and do this rhythmic breathing drill for a few minutes. So you could do this breathing drill. It doesn't have to be your whole run, because I know it's a lot to think of. You can start with just like 5 minutes of this breathing drill, maybe at the start of your run, as a warm-up drill or breathing drill, just to get yourself into a pattern. And then as you get more comfortable, you could do it for a longer portion, for like 10 minutes or even 15 minutes. Another exercise you could do is diaphragmatic breathing, right? This is where you just kind of place a hand on your chest, hand on your stomach here, boom, and you kind of breathe, kind of relaxed breathing. And when you're doing this breathing, you want to make sure that the hand on your chest you're not huffing and puffing. Your chest should be relaxed. And as you're breathing, again through your nose, the breath should be going in through your nose, out through your nose, and that your diaphragm, the hand on your stomach, so your diaphragm is located, this little sheet of muscle located right at the lower ribs here. It kind of goes up and down. So you breathe in, that diaphragm kind of moves gently up and down as it expands. So as you inhale, the diaphragm comes up. Exhale, the diaphragm gently comes in. And you can just slowly do that diaphragmatic breathing. Set a timer, 3 to 5 minutes. You could do it sitting. You could do it laying down on your back, just to relax your muscles and just get yourself to training that diaphragmatic breathing pattern. It's okay if there's very light chest movement, but it shouldn't be excessive chest movement. It shouldn't be like the chest 80% and the diaphragm 20%. It could be 50-50, kind of gently balanced, very light, gentle movement, or more like 80-20, like mostly diaphragm breathing. But when you really want to train your diaphragm to breathe, and obviously as you're working, there's going to be some chest movement when you're running, but it shouldn't be just like the shoulders up and down and then huffing and puffing through your mouth, unless you're doing like all-out sprints, and now you're recovering in between sprint intervals. The next thing you want to do is make sure that your nasal passages are clear, right? Simple tools like a neti pot or a saline rinse to rinse out your nostrils or your nasal passages. And I know it might be gross, but if you suffer from allergies or your nostrils or your nose gets blocked up, rinsing that out will really help, and will help you be able to breathe easier through your nose. And also using nasal strips, right? You actually can get like a nose tape to actually kind of open up the nasal pathways. So a strip of tape that goes over the nose. You've probably seen some folks wear these, some influencers and things. But yeah, nose tape can actually help open up the nasal passages and reduce congestion, as you could do the nose tape even while you're running. I know it's not the prettiest thing. You kind of look like a hockey player. Someone got punched in the nose, but nose tape can really help open up the nasal passages. And then just practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques, right? Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw and your face. Try to avoid tension, right? Because if you're tensing up, try to enjoy the run. Have fun while you're running. Try to run like it's just like a walk in the park, in and out through your nose. And this is going to be this mindful movement is going to help you really try to retrain your breathing patterns. You're consciously aware of what you're doing. You're just breathing in and out through your nose, just having an easy run. And yes, if you want to talk to a friend, you can, but you should also do some drills where even for a few minutes at a time, where you're just breathing in and out through your nose. You shouldn't be labored breathing, especially on an easy run. An easy run, you should be able to easily have an easy conversation, but also easily breathe in and out through your nose. So kind of talked about all these kind of different drills. Just to recap again, you could start maybe with just your warm-up, right? If you're brand new to this, like, how can I do this for a run workout? That's way too hard. Start with a warm-up. Maybe just walk for a few minutes. Walk for 3 to 5 minutes, breathing in and out through your nose. And then you transition to an easy run or a jog just for the warm-up. Then as you get more advanced, you could maybe add some run-walk intervals. Maybe you'll run at a faster clip with nose breathing. And then you walk to recover, breathe normally. Or maybe you run at a faster pace for a minute and then you jog to recover. And maybe you do some nose mouth breathing. And then on some of the intervals, you do just nose breathing. Right? There's different ways to program nose breathing into your running training and just your general like fitness routine in general, just because when you're again breathing in and out through your nose, it's going to make you more efficient and you're not going to fatigue. And this even applies to other sports, whether you cross train with biking and swimming or you do weightlifting. Nose breathing is going to help you recover between workouts as well. Just going to be able to recover it properly, get a better night's sleep as you're nose breathing. So there's so many benefits to nose breathing as opposed to being a mouth breather. So even though breathing might seem like it's insignificant, it could be the foundation for your run and really help you. So when you run, you're not feeling like you're dying to catch your breath, right? It doesn't feel like you're asthmatic and stuff. You can actually decrease that struggle, that stress that you're feeling, and make running feel more enjoyable, easier on your body. So again, it's going to improve your efficiency, reduce fatigue, and you're just going to have that breath control. Again, it's going to improve your performance, and you're not going to have some of these side effects like potential neck pain, shoulder pain, or even those abdominal side stitches like stomach cramps and stuff, just because you're breathing easier. And if you're needing help, like you're serious about improving your running and you're like, you want to learn more, I have a free training. I'm going to drop the link here. And if you're really like, man, I want this personalized one-to-one help, hit me up. I also do one-to-one coaching to help runners improve their efficiency, where we're talking breathing or even injury rehab. I do a bunch of all sorts of things because I'm a run coach and physical therapist, and I've been in the field for the past 10 years now. Anyways, I hope you found this useful. I'm out.